Ahead on our news tonight, the Minister of National Security displeased with terms for released sex offender. Unclear communication leads to a 3-day sit-in by public school teachers. And carnival fever is in the air, but will the weather hold up for the revelers? Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kendino Knowles. National Security Minister Wayne Munroe sounding the alarm to residents after a man twice convicted of sexually assaulting underage girls was released from prison today. As Berthany McDermott tells us, while the man has been added to the sexual offenders registry, Munroe feels there's a more effective way to monitor offenders.
National Security Minister Wayne Munroe QC announcing that a man convicted for indecent assault will be released from prison Friday as he was deemed a significant public risk. 55-year-old Alden Scott was convicted for indecently assaulting a 9-year-old girl in 2021 and is on the sexual offenders registry following his release from prison.
Due to the antecedents, the criminal history of the offender, his conduct while in the correctional facility and while out working at a police station was such that they deemed him a risk of significant harm to the health and safety of the public.
Scott is 5'5", 165 pounds, and medium build. He has black hair and is of dark brown complexion. Scott was sentenced to 2 years in prison after he admitted to caressing the girl's thigh at her home on January 17th. However, that wasn't his first time in prison for insulting a female. Scott was previously sentenced to 9 years in prison for raping a 17-year-old girl, and according to Munroe, while in prison he expressed similar behavior towards women. Now, Munroe said he met with the offender this morning where he expressed two concerns: employment and the possibility of retaliation.
If that manifests as a reality, the learning is that it will lead to courts directing against public notification. And so if we want to continue for the public to have this tool, to know who is amongst them, who they must exercise care towards, it is very important that there not be physical retaliation.
The news comes a few days after a sexual offenders kiosk was placed at a local police station. Currently, sexual offenders sign in once per year and within 7 days if there is an address change. However, Munroe feels there is a more efficient way.
The preferred method is not, to my mind, the more effective method for individuals like this wouldn't be he has to sign in by Saturday at the kiosk. He has to sign in within 7 days of change of an address. And then apart from that, he has to sign in once a year.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Unclear communication from education officials and administrators leading to a 3-day sit-in by teachers at Gerald Cash Primary School, according to Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson. Wilson confirming as much, saying although the preschool and grades 1 and 3 at Gerald Cash were placed on quarantine due to the spread of COVID-19, the remaining teachers, she claims, have been left in the dark and are very concerned for their health and safety.
In addition to the 14 schools identified earlier this week with COVID positive cases and scores of teachers on quarantine and hundreds of students, we now have Uriah McPhee Primary School, C.H. Reeves Junior High, Sister Annie Thompson Preschool, and we are still concerned about Stephen Dillett Primary School. They're still experiencing some concerns there. And there are 2 other schools that we are awaiting further information on possible suspected positive cases. One of the major concerns now is the capacity of the Ministry of Health contact tracing unit to facilitate, to adequately process, and to follow up on all of these cases in a timely manner. So the Bahamas Union of Teachers, we will continue to monitor each school closely, and we will ensure that our members are safe and that our students are also safe.
Well, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin responding to that sit-in at Gerald Cash Primary School, where teachers also complained that COVID-19 protocols weren't being followed, while saying the Bahamas Union of Teachers didn't reach out to her to express any concern. Hannah Martin says the matter is confusing.
It's very perplexing to me that I'm hearing that teachers are not in the classroom because they don't know what's going on. What do you need to know that's going on? What's going on is we have children who've been out of school for 2 years. That's what's going on. And so we have to find a way to get them back in. Where there are cases, the Ministry of Health will mandate how those cases are managed on the school campus. Plus, there are nurses on the campuses. The Ministry of Health was very kind and able to allow us to have nurses on at schools all over the nation.
Well, in less than 24 hours, hundreds of revelers will participate in the first Carnival Road March to be held since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a part of the Return of Survival Weekend. Ahead of the big day, our Jasmine Brown visited the campus of one of the largest carnival bands, where she caught up with designers and event organizers. Here's that report.
For the last few weeks, designers here at the Masqueraders Camp have been working feverishly to get costumes completed, as hundreds of revelers are expected to participate in tomorrow's Road March.
I'm very excited to be back because it's been a long time waiting. It's been 2 years sitting, waiting, and we're ready for the road.
Jamal Clark is one of the lead costume designers for Bahamas Masqueraders. Over the last few weeks, he spent hours at their Fire Trail Road camp perfecting costumes for mass production. Nearly 3 weeks ago, it was revealed that after a more than 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a series of carnival events was approved by the Ministry of Health. Organizers are stopping short at calling it the return of Bahamas Carnival, saying it will be a much smaller event that will make way for the official return of Bahamas Carnival next year. But members of the carnival community couldn't be happier, like legendary Trinidadian entertainer Giselle the Wasi One Blanche.
The energy, the vibe is amazing. I am a carnival baby. I have a band in Miami for 33 years, so carnival is me, I am carnival, and this feels like home, this feels like what it needs to be at this point. We need this. It's not even a want, this is a need at this point. And I told him this is mass in paradise, carnival in paradise. Where do you get to play mass with the landscape that you see here in Bahamas? This is mass in paradise. Experiencing Bahamas Carnival is like experiencing no other carnival. I am a Trinidadian. They say we have the greatest show on earth, but I'm gonna tell you this, right? I may get in trouble for this, but Bahamas is very, very close.
One of the largest events will be the May 21st Road March that will include a 2-mile route from Arawak Key to Goodman's Bay and back. In addition to the Road March, there is also Survival Weekend, which Alpha Sound's CEO Trevor Davis is describing as 3 days of non-stop partying that includes a concert on Saturday night.
Everybody's excited, and as you can tell, I'm excited. So I'm excited to know that everybody's excited and this event is back.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures, and meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Thanks, Kendina, and welcome everybody for our first look at weather on this humid Friday evening. Lots of clouds outside our studios right now. Temperatures in the low 80s. We do have a couple of light sprinkles out there. Your winds out of the east-southeast at 9 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature factoring the relative humidity, a very warm 89 degrees. We're going to talk about some features right now. Of course, we are all concerned about the weather that we've been having for the last day or two and what's expected by the weekend and into the weekend, actually. So we're looking down at the Southwest Caribbean. There's this feature down there called the Central American Gyre, which is actually a broad low-pressure system that's spinning out there in the Southwest Caribbean Sea. And this is one of the areas that we are watched during the early part of the season for some formation of tropical cyclones and tropical systems. And right now we are actually watching in that area. There's a broad area of low-pressure system that's trying to develop and not really getting its act together just yet, but it has the potential. Low pressure system spinning, and with the low pressure system we have lifting motion. Of course, we have some moisture, and that moisture is being pulled out of the Pacific across the ITZ, which is called the Intertropical Convergence Zone. That's a belt of moisture across the globe around the equator, and we are continuing to monitor this area. Moisture, I'll be talking about that. Of course, we have some isolated showers and some thunderstorms, and that moisture stream continues to pump across our area. And remember I mentioned an area down in the Southwest Caribbean that has quite a bit of moisture that we're watching. Some showers and thunderstorms down there, the National Hurricane Center, not really watching this area per se, but we'll continue to monitor it. If this does form, it's going to be pulling into the Gulf of Mexico. But in the meantime, a lot of moisture will be pumped across the area. So we're looking at increased cloudiness with some showers and some isolated thunderstorms tonight through tomorrow. And of course, we have a couple of events on the weekend. So you guys may have to make some second decisions on that. But we will continue to monitor the system in the Southwest Caribbean for some potential over the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Well, still to come on our news, Parliament tables midwives bill. The Labor Day parade is definitely happening this year. June 3rd is the set date. And inaugural flights and sea adventures make Bahamians very happy. It's all coming up when our news returns.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at the top of Cat Island. So you know you want to be back because there's going to be a lot more through Cat Island this week on the Charlie Bahama Show right here from Cat Island. Let's go, we're almost there. And I'm starting to get a little seasick, Antoine. Let's go. Oh. We can make it. Catch the special Charlie Bahama Show from Cat Island this week, where we have kiteboarding, rake and scrape, bush medicine, flower cakes, and adventure. Charlie Bahama Show every Friday night, 8 p.m. on our TV channel 212.
Yeah.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville tabling the Midwives and Nurses Bill 2022 this week. Dr. Darville saying that the bill is a combination of hard work and successive, or by successive, that is, administrations.
This particular bill is a bill for an act to expand the practice of nursing and midwifery, to continue the Nursing Council of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to provide for the training and regulation and registration and licensing of registered nurses, midwives, and advanced practice nurses, to provide for the training, regulation, enrollment, and licensing of licensed practical nurses, to provide for the regulation and licensing of nurses interns, to provide for the regulations of unlicensed assistive personnel, and to provide for the regulations and registration of the licensing of nursing agencies.
And in other news tonight, a group of private sector Bahamian investors announcing investment plans for 3 boutique resort properties. They're also revealing plans to submit management and operations plans for the Arthurstown Airport and Bennett's Harbor Dock to government in July. Orange Creek Redevelopment Partnership and the nonprofit Orange Creek Redevelopment Association representative Carlos Mackey explaining the plans during Cat Island Business Outlook.
We recognize that economic vitality is key to population growth and sustainability. Tourism, as the Prime Minister has indicated, has been used for generations to spur economic growth, and our view is that reinventing the wheel is not as important as modifying it to the terrain. Our terrain is one where there is no interest in large mega resort types of development that are environmentally deleterious, but in more moderate and boutique styles of resorts. As such, we are in the planning and fundraising stages for 3 types of properties in North and Central Cat Island.
Now, according to Mackey, the group's projects and endeavors have already been presented to the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation.
Our efforts have been well received and encouraged by the Office of the Prime Minister, as the Honourable Philip Brave Davis is the Member of Parliament for Cat Island. In our written and in-person presentations to him thus far, we have detailed our vision for the improvements that the Orange Creek Redevelopment Partnership is prepared to work on collaboratively with the government of the Bahamas and other Cat Island stakeholders over the next several years.
All right, coming up on our news, Margaritaville hits the seas, and your weather forecast is still to come. The details when our news returns.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at the top of Cat Island. So you know you want to be back because there's going to be a lot more through Cat Island this week on the Charlie Bahama Show right here from Cat Island. Let's go, we're almost there. And I'm starting to get a little seasick, Antoine. Let's go. We can make it. Catch the special Charlie Bahama show from Cat Island this week, where we have kiteboarding, rake and scrape, bush medicine, flower cakes, and adventure. Charlie Bahama show every Friday night, 8 p.m. on our TV channel 212.
Yeah.
This is our news. Welcome back. It was a grand welcome for passengers traveling on Western Air this week, from a water salute on the Fort Lauderdale tarmac to a Junkanoo rush out. Passenger Latrell Walker says she's a former employee and knows the company has a track record of efficiency and great customer service. Delana Tucker won a contest to be on board the flight and says although this was her first time traveling with the airline, it won't be her last.
It was awesome. It was an awesome flight. Like I told one of the other representatives, I have a personal relationship with the flight crew, so it's very smooth coming over from check-in right to coming off of the plane, and they were very welcoming. It was an awesome experience, and I wish them the best in the future.
I was actually one of the persons that won the tickets, the free tickets for the inaugural flight. Everything went smoothly. I'm very excited. It's my first time from start to finish. It was a great experience. Landing, take off, everything was on time, the service was efficient, and I really enjoyed myself.
Businesswoman Erica Hanna says she's been a long-time customer of Western Air, and with the new route, she says she's extending her loyalty.
I'm a business person. Time efficiency is so important, and that's why I've been flying Western Air. So this is going to be really good for traveling and meeting, connecting flights. And so the efficiency of Western Air is what I certainly embrace, and they make you feel like family.
On the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise cruise vessel sailing into Grand Bahama for the first time over the weekend, the ship, formerly Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line's Grand Classica, was renamed after a partnership with Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville brand was formed. Margaritaville at Sea CEO O'Neill Kosha saying the partnership will bring more passengers to Grand Bahama as well as a new class of visitor.
So we have elevated the product to a very different level now. What that means is hopefully a higher paying clientele, not only for us but for you, larger groups of people that we badly need on this island.
Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Deputy Director General Dr. Kenneth Romer welcoming the newly branded vessel, explaining that the ship will now contribute to Grand Bahama becoming a year-round tourist destination, especially given its unique offering that allows customers to book a package that includes a hotel stay.
We are committed to getting more vessels in the port. We want more passengers coming on cruise vessels and coming onto shore. We want more heads in Baird Carmel and ultimately more money into the economy and the revitalized economy of Grand Bahama.
And still to come on our news, the Labor Day parade is all set for June 3rd. Plus, Greg is back with your extended weather forecast. That's coming up when our news returns.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at the top of Cat Island. So you know you want to be back, because there's going to be a lot more through Cat Island this week on the Charlie Bahama show right here from Cat Island. Let's go, we're almost there. And I'm starting to get a little seasick, Antoine. Let's go.
We can make it.
Catch the special Charlie Bahama show from Cat Island this week, where we have kiteboarding, rake and scrape, bush medicine, flower cakes, and adventure. Charlie Bahama show every Friday night, 8 p.m. on our TV channel 212.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our news. It's time now for your extended weather forecast, and Greg is back in the Weather Center with a look at conditions for the weekend ahead. Greg?
Thanks again, Candino, and a happy Friday evening, everybody. In our second look at weather, we take a look at the tropics. Of course, we are monitoring an area in the Southwest Caribbean for the potential for some formation over the next couple of days as it continues to track towards the west-northwest. Should move over Central America, the Yucatan Peninsula, and into the Gulf of Mexico. A portion of that energy expected to move into the Pacific, and what's left of the remaining energy with this system will move into the Gulf of Mexico. But in the meantime, that's going to be pumping a lot of moisture across the area. So showers and thunderstorms will be in the forecast tonight. Taking a look at our satellite view, You notice that a large convection area down in the southwest Caribbean, some yellows, some reds, that indicates very strong thunderstorms actually. And as I mentioned, most of that will continue to pull towards the west-northwest. A lot of moisture pumping across the area. Upper level trough in the Gulf of Mexico is actually helping to enhance this moisture and trigger some showers and thunderstorms across the area. So we're looking at that tonight through tomorrow. So the potential for some showers and thunderstorms continues across our area, mostly the northwest and central Bahamas through tomorrow and possibly even into Sunday before things clear out. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast to south 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Low tide was at 6:12 tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, a caution flag for you guys down there. East to south easterly winds, 15 to 20 knots, your seas running 4 to 6 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, some showers in the forecast tomorrow and possibly even into Sunday. But by Sunday, we expect high pressure system to build across us, and that should spell for some rather nice weather and some warmer temperatures through the middle of next week. That's a look at our weather. Back to you, Kendino.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Well, the annual Surrando Fox Labor Day Parade will make a return this Labor Day for the 61st year. This will be the first Labor Day parade since the start of the pandemic, but it holds a special place for the country's workers, as this year's parade will include a wreath-laying ceremony for the 4 victims who lost their lives during the 2018 Labor Day Parade.
During the march, several union representatives will join BFSU President, Sister Teresa Mortimer, at a wreath-laying ceremony for the 4 victims who lost their lives at the 2018 Labor Day Parade.
All right, so be sure and mark June 3rd on your calendars for this year's Labor Day Parade. Thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Kendino Knowles. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. And until then, have a wonderful evening.